Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm really excited to hang out with you here today. I want to introduce you to some special friends of mine, some people who are making all of this at Video Creators possible for me to hang out with you, for me to spend time researching stuff, analyzing things, studying, and trying to put that all into helpful videos and podcasts that help you learn how to grow your audience on YouTube so that you can use your audience and your influence to reach people and impact their lives with the message that you're spreading. And so this is going to be an awesome hangout over on Patreon, and you can find links to all this stuff in the description below. Over at Patreon, these people have broken a significant milestone in that they are supporting video creators now at $500 per YouTube training video or podcast that I create for free just to give to you guys. They're the literal sponsors who are making this possible. In fact, on the podcast, I actually am now featuring them as sponsors for that show because it's because of them that this gets to happen. And so I set up a milestone that at $500, we are going to do a live stream, all the patrons together, and they're here with me. I'm going to introduce you to them in a second. But if you guys want to learn more about what it means to be a patron, I got links in the description below. If you want to support this and become a part of that community and enable me and the team here at Video Creators to continue to serve you the best that we can, I'd love to have you join our community. And I got some things to announce about Patreon too that even these patrons don't know quite yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce you to them in a second. I see you guys all in the chat. It's good to have all of you. Josh, Cam the King, Blake, Kimmy, Weasley, David, Indiana, Joe Vlogs, Ganetto. Good to have all you guys. What we're going to do is they're going to introduce themselves and give you guys each a YouTube tip that they think that's been valuable for them, that they think will also be helpful and valuable for you. And we're going to discuss those a little bit, but then we're also going to spend the rest of our time actually answering your questions that you have about YouTube. So ask your questions in the chat. There's two people in there, Scandinavian Today, which is Heidi. You can say hi to Heidi. She's in there, and she'll be taking your questions and giving them to us. Also, another person in there is Derek from Common Man Cocktails. You'll see him right there also. So both of them will be taking your questions, and we'll be doing our best to answer as many of them as we can here in the next hour. So you guys ready to meet my friends? Here they are. Hi guys, how are you? Oh, everyone's muted. They're like good people. I told them to mute themselves before we got started.
How's it going?
So thank you, first of all of you guys for being a patron and supporting video creators and making this possible. Like, I really am thankful for all of you guys, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is thankful for you also for being such a big part of making it possible for me to do this and to serve you guys. And I hope that you get just as much value out of this as I do. So thank you so much. Let's
mutually beneficial. Mutually.
Thank you. Good. That's
agreed.
I mean, I love hanging out with you guys, doing like our monthly live, well, not live on YouTube, but our private little meetings that we do here once a month. I look forward to those every month that we get to hang out and just catch up on the projects you guys are working on, the things you're doing, the roadblocks you're bumping into, the questions you have, the challenges you face, everything. All that is a lot of fun. So thank you for letting me be a small part of it. So let's do this. Let's go through, introduce yourself and your channel. And those of you who are watching, they'll post a link to their channel in the live chat that you guys are in right now. So you can go check them out if you'd like. And then just share with us your YouTube tip, like a minute or so. And then we'll talk about those and have some Q&A. So let's start with, I'll call you Craft Jack. Should I call you that? Or I know people by their first names too. I'm like, which name should I call them?
I know it's kind of confusing sometimes because, the channel is one name, but then I do have a name called Heather.
I know, should I call you
but
Heather?
Yeah, I'm Craft Shack over on the YouTube, so that's fine. You can call me whatever you want. Just call me.
Cool. Well, what's your tip for these creators who are hanging out with us?
Well, that it all leads right to the same thing. I say be yourself, always be yourself. But most importantly, don't worry about those numbers and that subscriber stuff. All that's going to ebb and flow. What's going to be constant is you. So just be the best you can be. That's what my tip is.
Cool. Now, how do you do that best on your channel?
I show mistakes and everything else. I don't want to take what Morwen's going to say though, so I don't want to say any more than that.
Oh, like good coordination there. Love it. Cool. How about you, Guinevere? Tell us about your channel. And okay, you already put a link to your channel. Awesome. But Guinevere, tell us a little bit about your channel. And
I'm a oil painter, doing realism, and so I'm making each week a video of a current painting or something I'm doing related to being a full-time artist.
It's awesome. And you painted that thing behind you too, right?
For you guys too.
Wow. That's a painting? That's not a photo?
No, it's a painting. See, it's on a...
What? Wow. So you teach people how to do that on your channel?
I haven't got too much into like teaching yet because I'm trying to figure out the right words, but process, like this is how I start, and time lapse process, and then some details like how to hang it, how to varnish it, but I'm still trying to find the right words for how I do it. I've been doing it so long that I don't like have to think about it. So trying to teach someone else who's not right in front of me, I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Well, she'll put a link to her channel in the chat for you guys who are watching in just a second. But what's your tip for us, Guinevere?
I think it's just to keep going. Like, maybe I had a video that didn't get very many views or something, and then it's just, well, there's always next week, try again next week.
Yeah, keep going. That persistence pays off. I've worked with many channels who have the hardest time reaching 100 subscribers. And then once they got there, then like 1,000 was way easier, then 10,000, and then they hit like 500,000 in the same amount of time it took them to get 100,000. So that perseverance is really, really key. That's great. All right, you guys go check out her channel. She'll put a link in the chat for you guys. How about you, Eileen? Introduce yourself. Tell us about your channel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eileen Smith, and my channel is Miss Eileen Speaks, where I do tutorials for YouTube, live video, and I also have a lot of social media and blogging tutorials as well.
Great. Yeah, I love it. She'll put a link for you guys also. What's your tip for everyone here, Eileen?
So I want to give everybody a social media tip, and that is if you have Twitter especially, every time you publish a new episode and you tweet that episode out, pin it to the top of your Twitter profile. And somebody said to me the other day, well, we might not get that many people looking at our profile. You can actually go on your Twitter analytics and see how many views your profile is getting. You can also pin when you reach a milestone, like Tim was just saying, when you reach 500 subscribers or 5,000 or 500,000. Wishful thinking.
Yeah. Cool. Have you seen any traction on your videos as a result since you've been doing that yourself?
Yes, I have.
And what kind of difference has it made for
I can see that there's also another site called My Top Tweet. Mm-hmm. And everybody can go to My Top Tweet and you can see your top tweets, and some of them are the ones that I've pinned. They're the ones that are getting the retweets and everything on Twitter.
Cool. Great tip.
Oh, and one more thing real quick. Yeah. You can also do this on your Facebook page. Pin that, share it on Facebook and pin it to the top of your profile.
That's great. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. For those of you guys who are just hopping in here, I see a bunch of you guys just joining in. I guess my text message went out right now. So good to have you guys. I see all of you in the chat. You guys are awesome. We're going to be answering a lot of your questions here in just a second. Right now, we're just sharing YouTube tips, and we're celebrating the Patreon milestone at video creators of reaching $500 per YouTube training that I'm creating for you guys. Like these people you're looking at right now, they make it possible for me to continue to create that stuff for you guys for free because they're supporting it over on Patreon. And we'd love to have you be a part of it too if you'd like to be a part of that. So link to that in the description below. It's patreon.com/video creators. I don't plan on doing that plug a lot. I just saw a bunch of new people come in, so just wanted to bring them up to speed. That's all. Ramon, tell us about your channel and what your tip is.
Hey everybody, my name is Ramon. I have a channel called Draw It Too, and that is where I show YouTubers or artists how to draw your favorite pop culture characters in easy to follow tutorials. So that's essentially my channel.
Awesome. Cool. And what's your tip?
I have a broad one. And it's engage with, involve, empower, and encourage your audience. And it's going beyond just commenting on their comment. I think it's also talking about, or also acknowledging their successes. If they post it in the comment section, following up. If you remember who they are, following up on any of their failures. If you guys see a whole bunch of like the same people posting again and again, you start to get familiar with those people who are always posting comments.
Yeah.
And so chatting it up with them. And my main tip actually is creating a community. And I've done this in my channel. I have a Google Plus community where I encourage people to post their art. And I also encourage people to critique other people's art. And what I love about the channel what I love about the community that I've created is that I don't have to be there for the community to be thriving. So there's people critiquing other people, even when I'm not there. So that's what I love about it.
Awesome. Great, man. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Morwen, tell us about your channel and give us a link to that, and share with us your tip also.
So my channel is a little bit broad. It's not an entire niche. It is mainly about disability and mental health awareness. But there's a few vlogs in there, some little more lighthearted videos, that kind of thing, and family videos, since it's much easier when you have a bunch of animals to film and you don't have to try and edit them out. I would say my tip is mainly be yourself, but in the sense that use, like, if you make mistakes and that kind of thing, use it rather than shy away from it. The more you kind of show your audience that you are normal, that you're not some perfect videographer, the more they're going to connect with you. And don't be scared to branch out. Like, keep your kind of niche, but at the same time allow yourself to do other things as well, and that takes in a broader amount of people.
Yeah, I talked about that on a recent video, how important that is to kind of reinvent yourself and experiment and try new things. Because as soon as you start getting stuck in a rut and you feel like that creative juice is kind of like, that creative energy is just kind of left, chances are your audience is going to feel that too, and then they stop watching. So I can see that from personal experience many times. So cool. Thank you, Morwen. That's great. You guys check out her channel. There it goes. Just posted it for you. Paul, tell us about your channel.
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Paul Fontanelli. I'm with photographytv.com is my channel, and it is basically a photography channel designed to educate, entertain, and inspire you around photography. And pretty new to it just within the last few months. So my tip, really in getting started, really just trying to raise awareness, get views. We hear often the importance of doing collaborations. And so initially I was like, all right, well, how do I do collaborations, being so new to it? You know, when you send someone a collaboration request and they look and they see, hey, he's just getting started, that may not be someone they want to collaborate with. So what I've found success in is collaborating with people and putting them on my channel. They're more apt to do that than necessarily putting you on their channel. So I've had success in a few different cases in reaching out to, in my genre, photography, well-known photographers and interviewing them, putting them on the channel. Then when you make a tweet about the video, they'll retweet it and you're able to reach their audience through that. So I've had success there in doing collaborations and not being afraid to reach out to people. In today's day and age, everyone is very accessible. So, I don't have success every time I reach out to people, but continuously reaching out, trying new things, and doing those collaborations I found has really helped raise awareness early on.
That's great. I did the exact same thing when I was starting video creators. Some creators I wanted to talk to, but I was too small, and so I just talked about them anyway. And then I got some retweets, and I kind of started building a relationship from there. And super smart. I mean, not just because I did it, because you're doing it and it actually works. So
it does work, definitely.
Awesome. We'll share a link to your channel in the chat, and you guys, it's a little bit delayed between the time you hear us and we say it and the time you hear us, but it's in the chat. You might have to scroll up a little bit to find it, but it's there. Brian, how are you, man?
I'm great, Tim. My name is Brian Fitzgerald. I'm a full-time golf coach in Australia, and my YouTube channel is Fitzy Golf Pro. I also go by the name of the Golf Doctor. So I want the world to play better golf. So I produce golf tips to help that occur.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your tip?
My tip is try and brand your thumbnails. When I started doing the videos, I was just using the little image that YouTube suggested that I use as a thumbnail. And then I was watching one of your tips, Tim, and you said brand it. So I created my own little brand. So now when I look at suggested videos, and my videos or my thumbnail stands out a lot more than what it would have if I didn't do that. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, it increases often the click-through rate between from your videos to another one of your videos in the suggested. You might see a little uptick in related and suggested traffic because of that visual branding that catches people's eye. So good.
Yeah, I have. And thanks for that tip.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Ken, tell us about your channel.
Hi there, Tim. I just let me start by saying I look forward to your Wednesday night live stream. So it's pretty surreal to be sitting and being a part of your live stream. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But my name's Ken Steep. I'm a firefighter paramedic by trade, but I actually work for a family business that trains dogs called McCann Professional Dog Trainers. We have our YouTube channel at McCann Dogs. So I wanted to mention something that I noticed is you dig into metrics, and you've really helped me with that. It can be a pretty daunting task when you look at all those numbers in the back end of your YouTube channel. But one thing that really has helped me is looking at audience retention. Seeing where people fall off, where the audience maybe loses interest or get distracted and click on another video. And I remember a very specific creator that you had worked with that would use a certain word, and every time he'd say that word, he'd see a real drop off in their metrics. So, I've really used audience retention to help our channel for sure, where with changing up the order of things or maybe using a list to sort of hold the retention of the audience. And we've seen a huge uptick in our retention from low 50s to like mid 70% retention. So that's been really helpful.
Awesome. Good. Yeah, I think the word was module. Every time you said
That's
the word
exactly
module.
what it was. That's right.
Yeah. He saw like bloop. It's a little like bloop, a little drop in audience retention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So G-rated family gaming says hi, Ken. To you
Oh,
in the
hi
chat.
guys. It's nice to see you.
And we're gonna be getting to your questions in a second. I see them coming through, and all of us here hanging out are gonna give some input into some of your questions. You guys keep asking them, and Derek and Heidi, Scandinavian Today, and also Common Man Cocktails, they are doing a great job of just grabbing your questions out of the chat and putting them here for us to discuss with you guys. So keep doing that. Julio, hello.
Hello there to everyone.
Yeah. So, tell us about your channel.
Yes, my channel, I just put it on the chat. My channel name is called Melómano Viajero, or in English, it's the Traveling Music Lover. It's a Spanish-speaking channel that reviews music concerts and festivals in a way to try to change people's life through music. And my tip would be to always do your best. Always, always, always. You never know when sometimes something that you did, works great, and then it can take off. Put all the effort that you can on making your content, answering comments. Don't feel bad for yourself for making or being absorbed with your channel. It's just like the payment that you have to do to become a bigger channel, but always, always, always do the best that you can so you don't feel bad about yourself for missing something.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Great. Mike, tell us about your channel.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you sound good.
All right, great. Hey, I'm Mike Manning. I run a kids entertainment channel in Brazil called Happy Toys. Run that with my wife and our 3.5-year-old son. Started it just over a year ago, and we just crossed over 100,000 subscribers. So,
wow, congrats, man!
Off to a pretty good start. Yeah, thanks.
Great. What's your tip for us?
My tip ties in a bit with Julio's tip. Is find something that's sustainable for you. Don't worry about competing with the big channels that have been around for 10 years or whatever the hot channel is in your space, or feel like you have to produce 3 videos a day. Find something that works for you. We, for a while, were really burning ourselves out, trying to do a video a day. Realized that wasn't quite right for us, so we slowed it down. Now we do a couple a week, it makes us much happier.
Yeah, the pacing and also the style though too. There's so many people vlogging like Casey Neistat now, which I guess makes sense. But actually, Derek in the chat, him and I had a little conversation and just published the podcast today. Or it might not be up yet, but it will be up by the end of today. You can search iTunes for video creators or soundcloud.com/video creators. But him and I recorded a podcast episode about that very thing, talking about like, yes, learn from the big creators, but you got to find what your unique strength is and orient your content around that. Because like just copying everyone else, like they're utilizing their strength and it's working for them, doesn't necessarily mean it's your strength. And so how do you find what you're good at and making content that's sustainable for you and will be successful? That's what we had a whole conversation about that. So great tip. Thanks for sharing that, man. And Ted, how are you, Ted? And by the way, they're going to be posting links to their channel in the chat. I don't know if Mike can or not. Go ahead and try Mike if you can't.
Tim, I tried, but it said that I couldn't post it.
I think I didn't make you a moderator yet, but if you just type something else, I'll make you a moderator and then we'll fix it.
All right, it'll come through in just a second. It'll have a little Peppa Pig with a crown.
And same for you, Brian, here. All right, Ted, how are you, man? Tell us about your channel.
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I want to say hi to Heather there also. The tip I want to share, I actually got from you and a few other people. So it's not my idea originally, but it's the concept of ask not what you can do for me, but ask what I can do for you. So I'm trying to do things that any viewer would want to stick around, maybe interact with whatever it is that I'm into at that moment.
Yeah, and
so thank you.
Yeah, how do you go about doing that on your channel? What does that look like?
Well, it's a change of thinking that I've read a couple of books recently where they're also talking about the same idea. And the more I think about it, the more sense it makes that why should they stick around because I want them to do things that they'll stick around because they want to stick around.
Yeah. Sorry, writing a message to you, Mike, there in Zoom. Cool. Yeah. And Ted, your channel is an acting channel. Is that right?
Right. Sorrento Studios Acting.
Yeah. You guys can go check out Ted's channel also. So let's jump into questions.
I have a question, but I didn't write it out. Am I going to be able to ask that either now or later?
Yeah, we'll let you go first. I mean, patrons get preference. I mean,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. So we're going to answer some questions from you guys, and looks like we've got a bunch of them here. We're going to go through them. I just realized, though, that how many countries do we have represented just right here out of the 12 of us? I'm U.S., and then I heard Julio's in Mexico, right? Brian is in
Australia.
And then Morwin, you're in Scotland, right? And
I'm in Brazil.
Yep, that's right. And then Ken, you're in Canada.
I'm in Canada. Yep.
Yeah. 6. I mean, fingers. Is that all of us? Anyone else someplace else?
I'm from the U.S. too, so.
Yes, U.S. represent.
Though I am Canadian, so there's that.
So yeah, 6 countries out of the 12 of us. That's awesome. That's what I love about this Patreon community, video creators. So diverse. I mean, it's such a broad range, and I love it that I get to like hang out with you guys every month and do this, and get to know your channels and talk about them. That's awesome. So let's do this, Ted. Let's do your question first, and then we'll jump into some other questions, and then I want to share some updates, some announcements that I want to do on Patreon with you guys going forward.
Great.
So yeah, go ahead, Ted. You go first.
One of the things that I did in acting class would have about 30 people, each have 2 or 3 sentences identical to everyone else, but they all put their own spin on it. This was years ago. The videos were ripped off and have wide dissemination. They might be on 30 or so different channels right now. I went to YouTube and posted challenges and got some of them down, but they're just sort of overwhelming. One guy really knows what he's doing as far as being sneaky and hiding the evidence and so on. He's got 3 million views with my videos. Like I could give that to you. I'm not going to do it over the public here. But my question is how would anyone go about parlaying the fact that I have 3 million views where the $7,000 a month is going to someone else if I'm not really that interested in getting that revenue, but I would like all those people who seem to really like what I'm doing to transfer their interest to my Patreon page.
Yeah. What advice do you guys have for Ted?
Well, let's all go beat him up.
Yeah.
One solution.
Good.
Oh, Tim, I think you mentioned, on several of your videos, that when you have like something, you can make a dispute with YouTube. I don't know if you as a user can do it directly, but maybe you can try to work it out that material it's yours, and try to do something with the revenue that it has gotten to that video with the 3 million views. I think something like that, Tim. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Ted. So your options are to submit copyright claims on all those videos, which it sounds like you've been doing, and you've gotten some of them taken down. There's no way to like transfer those views to your channel. There's no way to transfer the audience to your stuff.
No, right. You're saying there isn't, or you're asking?
There is not a way to do that. The most you can do is submit copyright claims and have them taken down. Now, if this happens a lot, you could be a candidate to be in Content ID, but that's a whole nother story, and you're not probably going to be eligible for that. So instead, you'd have to go through like rumble.com and use their Content ID. They do have Content ID, and so you upload to their website through rumble.com, and then you if you give them the management rights, then they'll have it in their Content ID system, but then you have to work with them via email to work out if you want, like, what do you want to happen if someone finds your video? If someone re-uploads your video, do you want it to take it down? Do you want to block it? Do you want to just monetize it? What do you want to do? So those, you have to work through them for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Yes, and I see Shannon in chat. A lot of people in the chat giving you some feedback also. If you join an MCN or a YouTube network, they'll also have access to Content ID on YouTube, and so they can manage your content for you there. What else are people saying here in the chat? Yeah, Fun Foods file a DMCA claim. I think that's what he was been doing. Cool. Good stuff here. So let's jump into some of your questions here, guys, and all of us here are going to do our best to help you answer them and think about them here. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Let's disable that. Let's see here. So, Leland Best, are you using Hangouts or Period for the 12 squares, Tim? Leland, I am actually using Zoom.us. So, that's the website. I'm using Zoom. I love it. Let's see here. What else? Breathe Fitness TV. When scheduling a video, is it better to set it as private rather than unlisted? What do you guys think?
It might be depending for what? For someone to see it, for you to have it online.
Right. If you're scheduling it, it's neither. It's scheduled.
I found that if you put it on unlisted, if you put that video in any of your playlists, it'll show up in the playlist. So if your playlists are appear in your channel, they'll be able to find the video.
I think I'd have to ask, what's the strategy behind the scheduling? Are you just scheduling because you're batch recording your videos and you don't want them all to come out, but are you actually awake at the time when you're scheduling it so that you can go there and take it off of being private? Or make it unlisted or whatever the deal is. Got to have a little bit more concept about the strategy behind the scheduling, I think.
So let me ask then, if you are you're doing your batch editing and you've got a whole bunch of videos you want to put up, but you don't want them all to go out today, what is best, private or unlisted? Or schedule? I mean, if you can, because not everybody can schedule, right?
I think so. I think everyone can.
I had this question as well, and I'd asked around a little bit, and I was told by what I believe to be a pretty credible source that YouTube may begin, they run that view velocity. There's an algorithm that starts to, I guess, check out the video, see what the view velocity is over the first 48 hours. And if it's in private, that it's not, YouTube isn't accessing it at that point, so you're more likely to have, the virality of the video take it further if you don't make it unlisted or you don't schedule it until less than 48 hours before you release it. I don't know, Tim, whether you can sort of validate that or not.
I don't have any data. No one has any, it's all anecdotal evidence is, what everyone has. So it's, YouTube's official stance is that it shouldn't make a difference. It's the published date, not the upload date. It's the published date is when they start counting the data. But some people will say, well, it's bugged. It's supposed to work that way, but it doesn't. And so you should set it to private and then just set it to public manually. Don't use the scheduled. Other people will say, don't even do that. Just upload it, keep it private for as short amount of time as possible while you get cards on it and everything, and then set it public as soon as you can. Personally, I still use scheduled, even though that seems to be the worst case scenario, but my time is more important to me than keeping my calendar clear just so I can be available to publish the video. So I go ahead and I still schedule stuff, and it doesn't seem to have made a huge impact. I still have videos. They still seem to perform about the same for me. But
of course, can't you set your channel defaults to being private or unlisted? And so I'm assuming that even if you schedule a video, that then it would fall into whatever your default, whether it's private or unlisted.
Scheduled videos are private, so because no one can access it if it's scheduled, unless they're logged in.
No, I mean until the time when it actually goes live.
Right.
You schedule it for 2 days from now, and then when it goes live, but I don't know. I guess it's sort of a question. If your default for all uploads is private, then it still would be private until you go and make it public. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's got to be a strategy behind why you're scheduling it to begin with.
Yeah. Cool. Leathersmith Reviews says, I have 18 subs. How do you create thumbnails from your iPhone? Does anyone create thumbnails on a mobile device?
You can use PicMonkey to create thumbnails. They have an app. Adobe has an app. There's all kinds of apps you can use.
Yeah, like any photo editing.
The same ones you can use for Instagram, I guess, for the most part, as long as you can change the dimensions of them.
I think what I would do, and I haven't done this, so this might not work, but if, let's say, so here's my phone. Oops, I got a lot of notifications right here. If I was using the iMovie app, for example, to edit, I would probably just do a screen cap, hit the home and the power buttons and screen cap it, and then open that up in a photo editor and modify it how I want and export that. So, but you can't add a thumbnail to your video on mobile, at least not yet. So you can make it on mobile, but I'm not sure how you would upload it to YouTube on your mobile. Unless you do the desktop view and you scroll around. But even then, I don't know if that would work or not. Let's do this one. So this would be a quick question for you guys. Madam Gracie asked, hey, Tim, I just started my YouTube comedy channel. Do you think it is too soon for a channel under 6 months to sign up for Patreon? So at what point should a channel create their own Patreon account and start promoting that on their channel?
I read a couple of things on that because I was thinking the same thing a couple of months ago, because I still only have about think it's 4K subscribers or something like that. And I've read on most of the blogs I've read and that, and a couple of videos I watched, is if you can sustain that Patreon, if you know there's a couple of people that are going to sign up, then that would be a good thing, and that's a good starting point. But if people come across a Patreon that no one signed up to for a long time, they're probably going to be wondering, is it still on the go? Is it viable? And that kind of thing. So I've maybe wait until you do have people that will definitely sign up. Even someone put on one of the blogs as a tip, even if you got one person, like a friend, to sign up, and then like you give them the money kind of thing, just so it looks like it's not just a totally dead Patreon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What else do you guys think?
There's never a bad time. You just put it out there, give good content, do your job properly, give good advice, and I think people will come.
Yeah.
You have to remember, though, that it's community-based. So if you don't have a community, if you're struggling to even have anybody watch your videos, then you're going to have a hard time also getting them to see your Patreon. So you really need to be able to, like Maureen said, you need to be able to sustain something. So don't just start it because you want one more thing to get money from, because that's just one more thing that you will work for really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, that's good advice. I'm pretty new to it, and I think early on I tried to do everything I see the big YouTubers doing, and I quickly realized, like, I'm not there yet. You know, I got to block and tackle first. I got to learn the foundations. And goal number one for me, which I've now come to realize, is just get views. Just, you know, work on building that community within YouTube. Then worry about sending them to different places to do different things. Because early on, I just tried to do it all, and I spent probably months in advance getting ready for that. And then Launch put it out there and was like, okay, I got to come back to the basics and focus on, you know, views and awareness and that early on. So Heather, your advice is spot on.
You could also put up the support fan funding on YouTube and see if anybody hits that fan funding button.
Yeah.
And you could, then that way you don't have to mention it in your video, but you can add the card on the video. So it's not like you got too many different calls to action.
Yeah.
So let's see if anybody gives you a tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice, because Patreon is a whole nother, I mean, it's a whole nother posting system. So you're just adding one more job with the add a tip button, like Eileen is mentioning. You're just basically saying, I'm doing exactly what I've been doing, but now you can actually add some money if you want.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I would say everything everyone else said. The only thing I would add maybe is if once you have a community on your channel and you're ready to launch this thing, one, the pitch should be about the community. As we start talking about money, get really, I don't know what the right word is, weird, antsy, uncomfortable. I'm not sure, but
uncomfortable is a good one.
Yeah, uncomfortable. Yeah, and so it's like this is, and this is genuinely absolutely true. I mean, as much for me as it is for you, or it's about ways that you can support your community better, you can serve them better, and they can be served in ways that they couldn't otherwise be just through like your YouTube videos. And like, I love it that I get to like hang out with like these people every month as patrons privately and get to hear what Guinevere has been working on and how it's been working for her month to month, and the problems that, you know, that some of these guys are working through and helping them get results. So that's been a lot of fun. The other thing I would say is and I learned this from Peter Hollins, is that when you start your Patreon, it's always a little bit difficult, maybe not always, but like for someone to be the very first person to sign up. If they have like zero, they're like, can this person deliver? I don't know. Like, is he really going to do this for just one person? You know? And so maybe he recommended having like a few people, like before you launch your Patreon, go to like people privately and just ask them to. So maybe it's family members, friends. He's like, you don't have to do it forever, just for like a few months while I get started. Would you help me? So that there's like a few people on there who are already contributing, and before you launch it. So I was like,
Tim, I'm thinking of another possible way of getting around that. This last month, Patreon has come out with the ability for you to not show the number of people that are sponsoring you and not show the dollar amount that you've accumulated. And I'm thinking of doing that until I build it up and then make it public again.
You could do that. A lot of people do that on their YouTube channels too. They'll hide their subscriber counts until they get to a point where they feel like it's worth showing. I like to be fully transparent. And so, you know, like right now we're celebrating 500. It's actually below 500. It dipped down because I've been the top tier I've been eliminating, as a lot of you guys know. And I have some new things I want to add instead, which I'll tell you about here in a little bit. But because of that, that's dipped us down below 500. So we'll get back up there again. But I'm fully transparent about that. And I just have that out there. And,
can I add one more point to the Patreon thing if you're going to get started? Keep in mind that you can actually build your Patreon page without going live. You don't have to go live. You can build it. Do that. Don't hit there's a button called launch. Don't hit that until you're ready to launch. That's the mistake that I made. And then I panicked and called my friends and was like, and fortunately they were willing to do it, and they were going to do it without me ever asking them, fortunately. But what I'm saying is you don't have to go live until you know you have people who are ready to go. It's an option.
Yeah. Cool. Primal Screens asked, if you had to start a brand new channel today, what 3 things would you do to promote your first video? Brand new channel, how would you promote your first video? Let's take 3 things. Someone shout out 1, 2, then 3.
Put it on Facebook.
Okay. Why is
Do
that?
a live stream.
A live stream?
Tell all your friends.
Yeah.
What did you say, Marwan?
Sorry.
Brian?
The exact same thing is message your friends and let them know that it's something you're doing.
Yeah. Start with the community you already have and then go from there. Absolutely.
Hey, Tim, could I add to the second point, which was put it on Facebook, because I totally agree with that. But where I've seen some success is not just blasting my Facebook, which I certainly do, but find consulting and working with groups, moderators specifically that are tied to your niche. So you don't just go to the group and just blast it on there, but work with the group, contribute to the group, direct message the admin to that group, help them a little bit, and then put your video out to that Facebook group, which may have 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 members to that group, and you get a lot more lift.
Yeah.
But the key is don't spam that group. You've got to be a part of it, contributing. And just recently, I've started to see some success there.
Yeah, part of that community, that makes a big difference. Otherwise, it's just spam.
Correct.
Yep.
I want to say Beauty Bubble says, don't tell your mother. I totally relate to that. I tell none of my family members.
Yeah, it was a little while till I told my family. And then I think some of them still raise an eyebrow, especially when I launched out on the full time rather than getting a real job. And they're like, someone needs to tell him, like, you can't make a living on YouTube. And I was like, well, I'm going to rely on some patrons to do it. So thank you. I Site Build asks, what days have you found got the best traction to post videos? So what days do you guys find are the best days for you guys to post new videos?
I'm going to answer this one because there was another question out there, and this may be all wrong, but this is just my opinion, right? That's all you wanted to know?
Yeah.
But there's lots of posts out there about always post on Tuesday at noon, whatever. I don't do any of that. I do what's best for me, bottom line.
I'm the same way, but there are tools, and TubeBuddy will tell you. Also, vidIQ gives you an idea. And they kind of look at your subscribers and see when they're around. But as most of us know, a lot of our views don't always come from our subscribers. So I think just the fact that you're consistent, and if you can tell people what day, like for me now, because I have a full-time job, I'm like every weekend instead of saying every Tuesday and not, coming through. I'm just like every weekend. You'll get a video from me. So try that and just try being consistent more so than every Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and also get to know your niche. For me, I know that a lot of young people watch my videos, so I post it after school in the places where I know I get a lot of audience. I post it after school as opposed to, before they go to school. So getting to know the habits of the people that watch your videos is also a good idea.
Yeah,
Ramon, I agree with that. I've seen that on my channel. I get more, and you can check in the analytics. That's the other thing, is if you have a channel that's been out there a little while, look in the analytics. It'll tell you when you get more of your views. And to your point of know your niche, if it's a comedy entertainment type of channel, you're probably going to hit better on Fridays and Saturdays when people are in that kind of mood. Whereas Mondays and Tuesdays maybe are a little bit more serious educational type videos. Definitely know the niche. I think people trend with that quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Consistency is the most important thing there, more so than what day of the week and time. Just be consistent and communicate it so people know when to expect it, so that it can make your videos part of their weekly rhythm if they wanted to. The Cooking Corner. Oh, I think you tweeted me today, didn't you? I remember you. Thank you for tweeting this live stream out. Good to see you. I have a question. How fast did you grow? How long did it take to get 100 subs, 1,000 subs, etc.? And I want to hear that from the people here also. But for me, shoot, I don't remember 100 subs. That one went pretty quick, but I already had like a built-in audience from another channel. So I had 2 other channels actually. So I got 100 pretty quick. I got to 1,000. I know by the end of the first year it was 10,000 subscribers. And then by the end of the second year, it was just shy of 100,000. But everyone's growth is different. There's so many different variables, so that's not saying that that's normal or anything like that by any means. I have friends who went from 0 to 1 million subscribers just in 2016 alone. So there's a lot of variables to consider. How about you guys? How fast was some of your growth?
It took me a year to get 50 subscribers. It's taken me 3 years to get to 200. Keep hanging in there.
Yeah. So the first 50 took a little while, and then now that you're picking up some steam.
Yeah.
I will say that the first 3 years of being on YouTube, I wasn't doing this as a business. I just was trying to reach out to people across the world who did stuff like I do. And I never paid any attention to any of the stuff, the analytics, the tags, none of it. I did it all wrong, 100% wrong as best I could. And I paid no attention to any of that stuff. We finally hit 2,000 at the end of that 3-year mark. And then from then until now, I've actually been working towards making it happen. And that's been a little over a year and a half, I guess, since then. So the first 2,000 were painful and hard because I wasn't even trying. But then the second 2,000 was almost 3,000. I guess we're at 3,000 now because we're a couple underneath 5,000. So
yeah,
happens really fast. Once you start doing the things that Tim tells you to, if you get his book, tell the title of your book, Tim.
30 Days to a Better YouTube channel. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. If you get that book, then, all these questions get answered real quick.
Cool. Yeah. It's like 1 or 2 videos to start performing well for you in search and related videos, and then those just start bringing in views and exposure to your channel. So once you get like 2 or 3 of those just kind of performing well, the rest of your channel tends to get a good lift. But it might take a little while to figure out those 2 or 3 videos that will perform well for your channel. Simply,
Jim,
oh, yep. Oh.
May I ask on that point? If you've got, you post a video and it's public and then you change it to either private or unlisted because you're not ready for it to be out there, but you wanted to get it processed. What's wrong with that? As I understand it, that's not a good idea, what I just described.
You could upload it as private and leave it there. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if it...
There's some people who will tell you that like once you upload it, you should set it to public ASAP, and they'll say scheduling is bad for it because there's a bug in the system, and they say that they tend not to get as many views on videos that were scheduled as opposed to those that were private and then published. And there might be some truth to that. I haven't noticed a significant difference on any of my channels that way. And But personally, if I have the option, like it's a vlog and I'm like just trying to get it out, like I'll just go ahead and just publish it right away. Or the video creators, I usually work more in batches, and those, like these videos, I'll still schedule even though it's bad. It's just better for my time and my schedule just to schedule it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a further question about that? When you say that you're not ready for the video to be public, I guess my question is then why upload it if you're not ready?
Ted?
Had to get unmuted. I don't know that I have a good answer for that.
Oh, okay. Is there a strategy? Is there a reason why you're not ready? I mean, if you got the video recorded.
It could be that I want to talk to the person, the subject that's in the video, a couple, 3 days, and so I don't want it public during that time. I might just be wanting to say, hey, in the editing, I included this. Is that okay?
I do this when I'm going on vacation. I will do a whole bunch of videos, 4 or 5 videos, and so that I have them ready to go and post them when I'm out on vacation. I don't necessarily schedule because I want to be able to manually make some changes or do whatever and make sure it goes. I don't want to just rely on the system, but that's just my, preference. But I like having them in the can and ready to go when I'm ready to post them. So that's what I do.
Cool. Simply Natalie, how long, I'll rephrase it. How long did it take you guys to start earning money on YouTube?
Probably took me about 3 years. So, I mean, there was like a penny or 5 cents or something like that sitting in AdSense. But, you have to reach $100 until you get that payout. So if you're just using AdSense to make money,
that's
of course, Tim will teach you how to make money other ways. And like Heather said earlier, get Tim's book.
Yeah. How was the rest of you guys?
It took me 2 years to make my first $100 through AdSense, but fortunately I don't need any of that to make money. I'm a full-time golf coach, and I started my YouTube channel simply to show the way I coach, and I'm finding more and more lesson bookings coming through because people are checking me out.
That's how I was. Yep, that's totally the way to do it. You can go on AdSense. People think that like, hey, I need more subscribers so I can make more money. But YouTube doesn't pay you for subscribers. They only pay you for engagements with ads on your videos. And that really kind of comes down to views. So like on my family's channel, I looked a few weeks ago, 2.7% of my views come from subscribers. 2.7%. Now on video creators, it's like closer to like 20% of the views come from subscribers. But that's because I have such a backlog of content on there that are just performing and related content all over that there's millions of views happening on those videos, and the amount that we get from subscribers is so low. And so that channel still pays well, even though only 2.7% of my views are from subscribers because of all the views happening across all of the other content. So if AdSense is your game, focus on views, not on subscribers. And if money is the direction you're trying to focus on, then I would focus more on just exactly what Eileen and Brian and others have said here. It's about you can sell something to your audience. At video creators, at 3,000 subscribers, I had an ebook, that 30 Days to Better YouTube channel, that ebook, and I started selling that. And that's part of what made it possible for me to start dedicating time on this channel at 3,000 subscribers. And so having a product that you sell is really important. Let's do this. I'm going to take 1 or 2 more of these questions really quick before we hit the top of the hour here. But I want to tell you guys some changes, some updates I'm going to be making to Patreon. So no, they're not live yet, but these are like the next things that I'm I am planning on doing with the Patreon community. So all the perks and rewards that are currently there will all stay there. None of those are going to change. I'm just adding additional things into each of the reward levels, just because I'm like 500. Like I want to do something else to like help these people, serve them, and make this community as awesome as we can make it. So one of the things I'm going to be adding, and I haven't figured out if this could be a monthly thing. It depends on how much time it's going to take me, but it will certainly be like for all existing patrons plus new people that sign up. Number one would be giving like discount codes and savings and coupons off of other services and tools and things that you might want to use. And these aren't going to be sponsored. Like I'm not getting paid to promote these or anything like, so there's absolutely no kickback for me. I'm just going out and being like, hey, is it okay if I offer like a discount for this to my patrons this month? You know, not sponsored, just to help you guys with something like that. So I've already got one on board that said yes. And I'll have to see. I don't know if that's going to be a monthly thing or if that's just going to be like a one-time thing. But that's something I thought would be cool, you know, to help you guys out and just get you access to some stuff for a discount. Another thing, and you guys can feedback about this, not right here, but we'll talk about this over on Patreon later, is I thought about the idea is like there's over 700 videos on my channel and a lot of them don't get seen, and a lot of those are like it's still really valuable content, I think. And so maybe like once a month just having like a Patreon a post on Patreon just for patrons of like here's 5 videos that maybe you missed over the past few years that might actually still be helpful for you, and just highlighting like so you don't have to sift through 700 plus videos yourself, and just highlight some of those for you just so you don't have to go looking for them. So I thought about doing that. At the $3 reward tier, I'm going to be adding I want to start doing some mini courses that'll only be available on Patreon. So all of you as patrons, you automatically get these anyway, and then new people who sign up will get access to these as well. The $3 tier, thinking about I'm going to be making a course just going over all the gear I use and everything that I have, how I set it up, how I use it, why I use this and not that, and the different environments and situations that I use. They'll primarily be focused on a vlogging setup, and then also like on a one-to-one camera like setup like I do on video creators. So lighting, sound, all that. So that'll be a quick little like mini course. By mini course, I mean like a 3 or 4 video series, something like that. And then on the $10 level, I got 2 things I want to add there. One is another mini course on just all the best practices that I follow for titles and thumbnails, which are the like really 2 big things, and you know that entice people to watch your videos in the first place. And so just getting people to watch your videos in the first place with titles and thumbnails. Now, I'm not going to get into how you hook them, keep them watching, but just that front billboard basically for your videos, and just kind of dig into the best practices and principles that I follow on my videos that seem to work. So that'll be a mini course at the $10 one. And then I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I'm working with Patreon right now to try to figure out a way to make it happen. Because all these things that we add, I'm trying to figure out like ways that a lot of this can be automated so that this can scale. Is at the $10 reward level, I want to find a way to create like it's not going to be a private Facebook group, but a private, because that doesn't integrate with Patreon natively, but a way that we can talk and communicate throughout the week. Throughout the month, you know, in like a private forum just for us, just for those patrons who are at that business level. So it'll be different than all the other like private Facebook groups, and you're just not just open to like a ton of people. It'll just be people who are like really dedicated, and in there we can have discussions around the content, around the business, YouTube business podcast that Catherine and I are recording for you guys every month. I haven't. The thing is, I just need a system that automatically, like, you log into the forum through your Patreon account, so it verifies that you're at that perk reward level, so you get access to the forum, rather than I did the math, and if I'm manually like adding and removing people every month, it's gonna like not make it worth it. So
Are you going to teach us how to do that?
How to set
So
that
that
up?
we can do it if we are you going to teach us so that we can learn how to do something like that for our channels?
Yeah, I mean, the API is there. I either have to hire a developer to do it, or Patreon's going to figure out an easier system to do it. Not sure which way. So these aren't all launched yet. These are all things that are coming. I have them on my docket. They're all listed and prioritized. And I've already talked through a lot of these things with my business manager, Catherine, about how we're going to start implementing these on Patreon. So not changing structures or anything, just adding more perks to each of the reward levels that I think will help you guys out. And then I'll be sending out another post for you guys who are patrons in the next couple days, just asking you for some feedback on some other ideas too. But I thought those were probably pretty easy ones that we probably don't need to discuss as much. So, but if you do, like, please, like, Tim, please don't make that course. That would be a dumb idea. Like, please let me know. So,
Hey, Tim, could I share a benefit that I've gotten from being a Patreon of yours?
Yeah, sure.
I think I love being a Patreon on Tim's community because number one, there is a community there too. But number two is if you have a quick question, something that you always want about, Tim is very active in his Patreon community, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So it's a great way to be able to interact with him, through the Patreon community, and that's been a big benefit to me. So I want to give you that plug.
Well, thank you, Paul. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get over 100 emails a day and asking questions, YouTube questions, and I cannot possibly respond to all of them. But when I get one from a patron, I'm like, they are literally like supporting this. They're like a part of making this possible, and so I do my best to get back to all those as soon as I can. So thank you for doing that, Paul. Cool. You guys want to do maybe one more question here, and then we'll wrap up. Let's see here. This will be a good one because I think Eileen and maybe some of the others have some input on this one. So, Disciple de Jesus, I'm guessing is what that is. Does doing live shows impact the growth of other videos on your channel?
I can say that 100% it has. It's I know sharing some of those live streams on other social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, brings in a new audience. And I know unequivocally we've had growth in some of our more recent videos. The watch time's gone up, the views have gone up simply from some interesting live stream that we've done. People have found our channel, so it's really been helpful for us.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, could I ask, so how do you promote those live streams if you don't already have a big audience in that area, or what's your technique there to kind of raise awareness to it?
For sure. So we have at our training facility, we have an agility arena, and we have competitions all the time. So sometimes I'll live stream from one of the competitions that we're hosting. So people tune in to check out the competition, watch their friend compete, and then they'll find our channel and maybe find some other content like relationship building videos that we made or trick tutorial. They find that interesting, and they'll stay subscribed for that reason. But I mean, anything that I think you have to offer that on live stream, because live stream is pretty new to YouTube, and people find it interesting. I know anytime I see a live stream on in my news feed, I'll immediately check out what's going on. I'd love to see, and then I may explore some of their other videos. So I think any live content that you have to share is worth sharing, because you might catch someone that's not necessarily right in your niche, but someone who may see it because a friend is a fan of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I have to say that live video, guys, it does not have to be on YouTube, but it can still help you grow your channel, because you're going to mention your channel in the live stream, and it'll give people the idea that yes, this person is a person that does video. They may have a YouTube channel, even if they only catch a snippet of your live. So I definitely recommend using a live video.
Let me add a different spin on this. So this is a normal way for creators to think, and they say, I want to grow my channel. To them, that means collecting as many stats as possible, just growing stats, getting more people, just growing. And so that's what I think people normally mean when they say grow your channel. But live streaming can do that, But the way I think about it is growing my relationship with my audience, with my viewers. So for me, it's less about like, how do I collect more of these stats? Okay, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. And it's like, you don't really care who they are. You just kind of care that you're becoming more popular or something, as opposed to being like live. I can hang out live. I hang out live with my patrons every month. I get to hang out with you guys live watching this here on YouTube right now. And for me, it's more about like growing the community, growing the relationship, the interactive part that we can't do in any other way really besides this, at least not very well. So for me, growing your channel, like I guess maybe it'd be more better defined as like growing your community or growing your relationship with your community. And to me, that's the real value for live streaming. So it's not just like another tool of trying to collect more, view counts necessarily. It's more about like, how do I build a relationship with the people who are already viewing my videos?
Yeah, and as a viewer, I mean, I can absolutely see that. If you watched we talked earlier about Casey Neistat or any of those really popular vloggers, I mean, you wonder what they're up to and what do they do in their real life and what other things are they doing. So I can absolutely see how that would enhance the relationship for sure. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Cool, guys.
Yeah, that's like, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Lauren. Yeah, you're fine.
I've noticed, even though I don't have many subscribers, there's 3 in particular I have that when they first got in touch with me, it made everything worth it, because they came to me with personal issues and said, you have this, and so do I. And they were asking me advice, and they were saying it was nice not to feel alone in that kind of thing. So for me, that was just the best thing ever, even though it was only 3 people. That was just amazing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wanted to add that I think first we with people, and that goes right with what Tim was saying, that you need to be really focused on the people that you're connecting with instead of trying to get those numbers. But also I think that if you have simplicity, so if you have things on your channel, on your YouTube channel, that you can connect to your Facebook and your Twitter and all those things, make sure those things are connected, because then people can connect with you in other ways. If you have a website, make sure your YouTube is connected there. I mean, it seems really silly, but a lot of people are so disjointed. When you go to their channel, you're like, I don't even know how to message this person. I don't know how to do anything with them because they've not connected anything. So start with those basic tools that are there and available to you. Just get yourself connected so that there's one easy way to connect with you, and then you'll see more interaction with people, because that's what it's about.
Yeah. Everyone lately has been so up in arms about the YouTube algorithm change, and I mean, I get it, but I also think like, well, what if we focused on serving the people we already have rather than just always trying to get more people? Like, how can I serve the people who are already here better? What if that's your question that you were focusing on in your channel? I think that would change your perspective on a lot of things. It might actually then lead to more growth, just due to the nature of that. So, I don't know, something about. But if you guys, I would seriously love to have all of you, as many of you as you want to become a patron of Video Creators and join us in our awesome community. Link is down there in the description below on this video. Sorry we didn't get to answer as many questions from you guys. I mean, you got lots of them. Whoo, 5 pages. Thank you so much to Heidi and Derek for moderating all this stuff. You guys, you can check out their channels, Common Man Cocktails and Scandinavian Today. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, they've definitely done a great job of serving you guys. And so thank them in the chat. Thank you guys. And we'll be doing another live hangout sometime soon. If you want to get a notice of that, send out text messages whenever I go live. You can text the word VC Live to the number 43506. And once again, text the word VC Live to the number 43506. And I should figure out a text messaging thing just for patrons too. That would be kind of fun.
Hey, Tim, say that again. I'm going to type it in the chat so people have it.
Okay. It's VC Live, all one word, to the number 43506.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you. And yeah, so I'll send you a text message next time we hang out. And it's been fun. And hopefully we'll catch up with you guys soon. Everyone say bye.
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 Have a good one.
See you guys.